Have you ever been in a conversation and just felt completely misunderstood? Or maybe you've looked around a room and thought, am I surrounded by people who just don't get it? Well, today we're diving into a really powerful idea from author Thomas Erikson that might just change how you see, well, everyone. So Erikson starts us off with this great story about a manager he had way back when, a guy named Stur. And Stur, he had this very simple, and let's be honest, very convenient little rule. If you didn't think or act exactly like him, you were quite simply an idiot.
Sound familiar? I think we've all been there, right? That feeling is so common. But here's the big question. What if it's not really about idiocy at all? What if it's about something much deeper? Something like fundamentally different styles of communication? And that brings us to what Erikson calls the idiot problem. We're going to get into why we misunderstand each other so often and, why some conversations just flow while others feel like you're talking to a brick wall.
Here's the thing. The real issue isn't that other people are actually objectively wrong. It's that we all subconsciously use our own behavior as the gold standard. So when someone acts differently, our brain's default reaction is to label it as incorrect or, even ignorant. We all have a little bit of Strunier in us. Okay, so if judging everyone isn't the answer, then what is? Well, that brings us to the solution. A simple but really powerful system for basically decoding human behavior. It's called the DISA model. Now, you might have heard of it by its more common name, the DISC system. But whatever you call it, its whole purpose is to give us a shared language to understand our differences. It's about turning that frustration into fascination. The system breaks everything down into 4 main types, and it uses colors to make them super easy to remember. We've got red for dominance, yellow for inducement, green for submission, and blue for analytic ability. So, let's meet them. All right, it's time for a quick meet and greet with each personality type. As we're going through these, see if you can spot yourself, or maybe, that one person you work with. First up, we've got the reds. These are the drivers, the bold, ambitious, get-it-done people in our lives. The ones who make things happen. Oh yeah, you can spot a red from a mile away. They're all about action. They make quick decisions, and they are intensely competitive. Their primary motivation? It's not about being liked. It's pretty simple. It's about winning. So, a little tip. When you're dealing with a red, just get straight to the point. They value efficiency over everything. And this quote? Come on, it just perfectly captures that direct, in charge, let's get moving yesterday attitude, doesn't it? For a red, there is absolutely no time to waste. Okay, next up, let's meet the yellows. These are the social butterflies, the optimists, the inspirational communicators who seem to just light up every room they walk into. Yellows just thrive on human interaction. They bring this creative, bubbly energy to basically every situation, and they are fantastic persuaders and storytellers. They're the life of the party. So if you need to convince a yellow, don't bog them down with a spreadsheet. No. Tell them a story, focus on the big, exciting vision. And this little story about the author's friend Mickey is pure yellow. His brand new car is literally wrapped around a lamppost, and what does he do? He finds the silver lining. It's incredible. Okay, now for the greens. And what's interesting here is that this is the most common personality type. These are the kind, stable, and deeply reliable supporters in our lives. Greens are really the bedrock of any group. They're all about relationships, they're incredibly supportive, and they work tirelessly behind the scenes just to keep the peace. So if you're working with a green, here's my advice. Slow down. Build trust, really listen, and if there's a change coming, explain why it's needed, focusing on how it will create stability in the long run. This right here, this gets to the absolute core of what drives a green personality. It's this powerful desire for security, for predictability, and for a drama-free zone. And last but definitely not least, we've got the blues. These are the analysts, the detail-oriented, logical perfectionists who make sure things are always done right. Blues are just driven by facts and logic. They have this deep need to understand all the details before they even think about acting. For them, quality isn't just a goal, it's a complete non-negotiable. So when you're presenting to a blue, you better have your facts straight and be ready for a lot of questions. They respect thoroughness above all else. This is such a classic blue moment. And you have to understand, it's not about one-upmanship or being a know-it-all. It's a genuine, almost physical need to correct misinformation and make sure the facts are absolutely 100% straight. So, okay, you know the colors now. Red, yellow, green, blue. But so what? What's the point? Well, the real power, the whole game changer with this framework, is learning how to adapt your own behavior to communicate better. And this is maybe the most important part. You can't change other people. You just can't. But what you can do is change your own approach. If you follow these 3 steps, first, identify their color, then understand what they need, and finally, adjust your style, you can dramatically improve pretty much every single interaction you have.
All right, let's wrap this all up with the single most important takeaway from this entire way of thinking.
Because here's the truth. The people around you aren't idiots. Not at all. They're just speaking a different behavioral language. And now, you have the key to becoming a translator.